You know what makes every outfit look better? The right bra from Third Love. Their bras make it easy to ultimate cleavage, a smooth look, or even stop your shirt buttons from pulling. They make over 60 sizes, including half cups you won't find anywhere else, so you'll find your perfect fit. Third Love solves bra problems, or what they call broblems. Real women test every style they make. Comfort and support are guaranteed. So stop settling for bad bras. You deserve better. Get your problem solved today. Save $15 on your first order with code PODCAST15 at thirdlove.com.
Let's Talk with Heather Dubrow starts now. Well, I met today's guest at a party at Kathy Hilton's house, obviously, as one does. And we instantly hit it off. EMILY Morse is the host of Sex with Emily, one of the longest running and most downloaded sex and relationship podcasts in the world. But today we're going to go beyond the bedroom. We're going to talk about sex through every season of life because I'm dying to know how you feel about old people sex. We're going to talk about raising sex-positive kids. My kids tell me way too much, by the way. The conversations we were afraid to have growing up or our parents didn't want to have. Our kids are already having that. I just find it all so fascinating. It's amazing. Please welcome EMILY Morse.
So glad to be here.
Hi.
Hi, Heather.
Hi. I love you. The moment I met you at Kathy's house, I just felt like, oh, why haven't we been friends?
I felt the same way. I was like, this is it. Let's just continue. Why don't we talk? Why aren't we doing stuff? Why aren't we hanging out?
Well, we are.
Now we are.
We're going to do it. All right. So for people that have been living under a rock and don't know you, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. I mean, I've been podcasting for 10 years. You've been podcasting for 20 plus years. I mean, literally maybe the OG female podcaster. I can't even think of anyone that was doing it before you.
I don't know if anyone has. Really.
No.
Not many. No.
And the taboo subject of sex. So give us kind of like, what happened?
Okay, so like 2005.
What'd your parents say?
Exactly. Well, these are the top questions that I get asked. So 2005, starting a podcast, which no one knows what the hell it was.
Do you need water or anything?
I have water.
Okay.
Starting a podcast in 2005, which no one knows what a podcast is, and talking about sex, which no one talks about, was a journey.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I was like, I'm going to do something that's really out there and crazy. It was more like, I'm in my 30s. Sex wasn't so great. It was great for a while, and then it wouldn't be great. And I went looking for information about how do you have sex that goes the distance in a long-term relationship? How do you even have great sex? Like, why is my partner always having an orgasm? And I'm not.
Yeah.
What is the deal with it? When I started looking for answers, there was nothing out there. There was like Dr. Ruth, may she rest in peace. And there was like, Kinsey Institute, and just not much. And there was Loveline, but nothing.
And then the Berman sisters.
The Berman sisters, fantastic. But like not a lot. So I really just thought, well, why don't I start doing a documentary about podcasting? Because that's where I'd worked before. I was a documentary filmmaker. I worked in politics anyway. And then one day I read this thing about podcasting. I was like, oh my God, I can talk to people without a camera. I don't have to wear makeup, and I can just like talk to them about deep. Would now look at us now.
And now look, and now full it's glam, lashes. Trust
full
me, this was
glam.
a fix.
I'm like, Jesus,
quick fix.
I get it. But then I thought, well, you can have the anonymity, and I just started talking to people, inviting people over. I lived in San Francisco at the time, and I just started interviewing people about their real stories about their sex lives, their relationships, dating, love. And then I went back, and I was not the expert. I was just talking to people and trying to figure it out. And I realized, this is my life's work. I want to be better at sex. I want other people to feel more comfortable talking about sex. I went back to grad school, got a doctorate in human sexuality, and now it's 20 years later, and the podcast is still going. Like, it's been 20 years, but I have a lot of other things that I do now. I have a membership, and I have my YouTube channel, I have products and all the things, but I still feel like I love helping people feel less shameful and have more pleasure and a story. And half my audience has always been men, which I think is so interesting because people are like, oh, it's probably all women. I'm like, no. The guys are coming to me because they don't know. They're not like, we're talking to friends at least. Like,
right.
Guys are like, I don't know. I feel bad. My penis didn't work last night. What do I do?
And they're not hanging out in the locker room having those conversations.
No, they're just hanging out in the locker room shaming themselves about their penis not being big enough.
Is there like so much pressure on you to be great in bed though?
Yeah. There is.
That's a lot.
Can you imagine? That's the thing.
No.
It's like, people are like, are guys intimidated to date you? I'm like, what about me? I got to bring it home every time. Like, if you're like a great chef, sometimes you want to microwave dinner, right? Could I ever do that? Could I ever just be like, I'm phoning it in
Let's do a quickie, man.
Exactly.
Reverse cowgirl, and we're out.
Like, we are done. We've got 6 minutes. I know what to do to get it. So there's a lot of pressure all around, but also I've been doing it I know what to do now. Like, I know how to talk about it, and I don't have shame about that. So I guess in many ways I do practice what I preach. Like, if I'm not into it or I know what I need to be into it, or I know how to say, hey, not tonight, but here's why. So someone doesn't get so upset about it. I mean, sex could become so complicated in relationships because we don't talk about it. I mean, mostly what I do is help people feel less shame about talking about it. So like I always say, communication is lubrication. Talking about it makes it a whole lot easier.
It's so funny to me. I have a very distinct memory of sitting at my friend's wedding, and this other girlfriend of ours, we all went to college together. So we were, I was probably, I don't know, 28-ish, 30. I don't remember. Around that age.
It's all the same.
And one of the girls at the table was saying that her mom gave her the best advice. She goes, honey, if they want sex, just do it. It doesn't, it takes, so short a period of time. Just do it and get it over with because they'll be happy. And we were all like, right, good advice. This is great advice. Fuck that. Are you kidding me? That was not good. But at the time, it made so much sense to me. And I will tell you, I didn't revisit that thought until just a few years ago. And I've been with my husband 28 years.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, I was thinking, maybe that wasn't such great advice.
So what did you do from there? How did it switch for you? We were like, oh yeah, I'm not just going to take one for the team. Like I'm going to figure out where
I think
it works
it's been
me.
menopause. And I think, and which is one of the things I really want to talk about, even with my younger audience that listens, because no one ever talked about menopause with us. I think you were probably the same way.
Same.
Taboo. And even if I asked my mother now, she wouldn't remember. It's like not
Same. My mom doesn't remember that at all.
Such a bad thing. But I have found, because we have luckily always had a great relationship, great sexual relationship. And look, no relationship is perfect. You go through ebbs and flows when your kids are little, or you just had a baby, or whatever it is, or someone's stressed, you go through all that stuff. But in general, really good. Not a lot of complaints here. But this menopause thing has kicked my ass and everyone's ass. And then I felt guilty, like, you know what? It's not you. Well, maybe it's you tonight, but it's not you. It's me. But I don't want to feel bad and be like, oh, it's me and I'm so sorry. Like, that's not okay either. But, Terry, I think probably partially because he's a doctor and can really understand and evaluate these things. And also just the kind of guy he is, completely gets it. But you still do feel guilty and you feel shame and all the things. But what I found was, and I think you kind of just touched on this, you said, what did you say is lubrication? You said
communication
is lubrication. So what I found was we were going through this kind of very thing. I mean, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I just was like, no, even though mentally I really wanted to, my body was like, hell no. Anyway, we started just chatting.
Love it.
In bed and just chatting and talking and all the things. And one thing turned another. And it was like a fantastic experience. But it would never have happened if we hadn't just started talking and being open and, all the things. Yeah.
No, I love this. Well, first off, going back to what you said about just take one for the team, just do it. Like we always say, happy wife, happy life. But then you're like, wait, no, the sex advice was just do it. Go down and make it happen and then he'll be fine. But that's totally disregarding women actually saying like, what do I actually want? Because if women enjoyed sex more and learned how to ask for what they want, knew what felt good to them, knew what times a month felt good to them, what kind of sex they wanted to have, everyone would be happy. But all this information about female sexuality and even male sexuality has been largely untrue, not really studied. And then now you have the young people just watching porn, assuming that's how sex happens. So to your point now, I think at any age, because even after kids, women are like, you don't want to have sex, but then you feel guilty, or the doctor tells you you're good to go in 6 weeks, which is like, never the case for any woman.
Weeks?
No, like how about 6 months, maybe? Yeah. So there's always all this pressure on women. So I think the big thing is like when it feels good for us, it'll feel good for everyone else. But just saying like, I'm just going to turn around and do doggy style or get it over with isn't fair for us, because sex can be really pleasurable. And so to give you an example, what I learned about sex and what most people feel about sex is like, okay, penetration is where the magic happens. We should just have the quick sex. But for most women, they're not going to have an orgasm from anything to do with a penis at all. Like no matter what your age, no matter perimenopause or anything, your body might not work that way. You might require a mouth or toys or fingers. And so just knowing that and being like, learning to say, no, I need you to go down to me for 20 minutes. And then maybe we can talk about having sex, or just being able to advocate for where we have pleasure. And again, our bodies change all different times. So I think that the big thing is, and then being with a partner who's willing to talk about it. Because when you can actually talk about it, because most couples are like, this is their sex conversations. Like, are we going to have sex? We're not having enough sex. When will we have it again? There's always someone who wants a high desire partner and a low desire partner. And that's just going to happen in every relationship. But the meatier part is like, what actually feels good to us? What are your fantasies? What are your turn-ons? What time of day does it feel good? What positions feel good? Like, so those are the kind of conversations to start having now, no matter what your age, like no matter where you're at. And then, you go through menopause, your hormones change, and then it feels, our bodies feel different. Our desire, what you're talking about, like once you start doing it, it might feel great. But then even just getting the desire is the want to have sex. Right. So then how do you get there? And once you start doing it, then you feel better. But, just understanding that with your partner and being able to say, not tonight, and here's why. That's the other thing. A lot of times we reject our partners, but then we don't give them reasons.
Why, and then they just feel bad. They think it's them.
Yes.
Spring is the perfect time to refresh your house. We're talking about your closet, your living room, your kitchen, and most importantly, your bedroom, specifically your bed sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are the perfect place to start. Made with 100% organic cotton, these sheets feel buttery to the touch, breathable to sleep in, and get softer with every wash. And you can easily add Boll & Branch's bed blankets, duvets, and quilts, all made with airy and breathable designs. Oh my gosh, they have this waffle blanket that is divine. It's so soft. It's so yummy. It's like one of those blankets you never want to sleep without. I mean, you could even pack it if you want and take it on vacation. Boll & Branch products are made different so you can sleep better at night. You could try Boll & Branch sheets for an entire month, and there's no catch. You can wash, style, and feel the difference for yourself risk-free. If you don't get your best night's sleep, you could send them back for a full refund. Feel the difference an extraordinary night's sleep can make with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/Dubrow. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Dubrow to save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details. The other thing is, I think, I always say things like, you teach people how to treat you, right? So I'm talking to my 18-year-old daughter, and we're talking about something that's going on in her life. And I'm saying, well, you're teaching this person that that's okay by just not saying anything about it. So maybe you don't want to deal with it, but you have to know that that's the way this relationship is going to be from now on. And I think the same thing is with sex. Yes. So I think especially, now I don't remember because it's been 100 years since I had a new partner.
Right.
But what I do remember is, at first you want to be all sexy and you don't want to be problematic and you don't want to take too long to orgasm or else you feel bad. And so then you fake it. And then all of a sudden you're teaching this partner that this is all okay. Yeah. And then you wonder why they don't want to have foreplay for an hour or,
That is exactly it.
We're
complicit. Right? I did the same thing. That's why I woke up in my 30s. I'm like, I'm a strong, smart woman. I have my own business. I have my own career. I'm for women's rights and I care about all these things. But yet with sex, it's the one area of my life that I'm just faking orgasms, pretending that it looks good. I'm moving my back in all the ways that I think are sexy. I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. It's not congruent with other parts of my life. So we're all doing it, but it's only because we were never told that actually spend time masturbating. Do it for your own self, your own pleasure. What feels good to you? What do you actually like? I'm telling you, I think that our male partners or any partners we're with, they want to please us. They want to be good lovers to us. But since we've been just kind of going along with the program, they don't know. They don't know either.
And then they get lazy.
Yes. And we all get lazy. They get lazy. You're right. They're like, well, this is what worked before.
Do you think men or women are lazier in bed in general? Is that a thing?
I think it is a thing, but define lazy. I think we just get bored and we know what works, or we are hurried and we just want to get it over with. I don't think it's either or, but I do think men. Well, maybe because men always know they're going to have an orgasm. There's an orgasm gap, and that is a problem. Men will orgasm 99% of the time. Do you know women orgasm?
It's not 100.
No, it's probably 100, but I'm giving them a give or take, a 1%.
I think it's 100. Unless someone drank too much, right. I think it's 100.
They know how to get there, but women aren't. And that's part of the gap. The other part of the gap is that men can orgasm between 6 and 9 minutes, and women are between 20 and 40 minutes.
Right.
So that's already a problem that we have to close that chasm there. And so it's more like if I could and if you're a young woman listening to this, you just start today. Be like, hey, babe, if you're in a relationship, I always tell people to blame me, and I know they've been blaming me for 20 years, and I'm totally fine with it. I was listening to Sex with Emily and Heather Dubrow, and they said that, isn't that interesting? Would you be willing to go on a journey with me and explore? Maybe we don't rush right into penetration. Let's start exploring other ways to play. And like, your partner's going to be down with it. It's like women are afraid of vibrators because guys are going to be like, that's going to replace me. I just bring the vibrator into the bedroom and I'll be like, okay, you look at this new toy I got. Let me show you how it feels on you. Like, this is how I'm going to use it on me. And they're like down. Like, I think that your partners want you to have pleasure as well. And they want you to be in ecstasy and they want all those things. So we just have to kind of lead them. Like, you know how it is with them. Just lead them there. Like, show them that you didn't know before and now you're learning. Will they come with you? Will you figure out what feels great to you? Because they're pretty much going to get off anyway.
So how do you introduce things? Because I'm going to keep using Terry because he's a doctor. He's he's open to anything. So, all right. So my algorithm on Instagram, it's like remember in the old days, we used to buy things off the TV at 3 a.m., like all the infomercials. That's how Instagram is to me, and TikTok Shop. Okay. I will buy anything. They sell me all the best stuff. Yeah. So like, I'm really into, are you into creatine yet?
Yes. I just got there. I'm so late with the creatine, but now I'm obsessed.
Good.
Yeah.
So how long have you been taking it?
I mean, like 3 months.
It's the best.
Yeah.
How much do you take a day?
Just a scoop.
Like how many milligrams? Do you have any milligrams?
I don't know that.
All right. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
All right. So they say 5 a day. I do 2.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it might be based on body weight and you're small. So just look at it. But if you can handle 5, do the 5.
All right.
It's great. Anyway, cognitive function, muscles, strength. It's
all the things.
Insane. Anyway, so I was like looking up creatine because I wanted a vegan one and I wanted no seed oils because my oldest son's like really crazy about that. So all I get shown is creatine. Now, all I'm shown are sex products.
Okay.
Because I saw one product, and I can't remember the name of it. I have to go. I'll text it to you.
Was it a toy? Okay.
No. It was some cream. And, it's supposed to enhance orgasms or whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get that. So now I'm being shown like all the things. I remember years ago I tried, what's the one that's THC?
Oh, yeah, Foria. Yeah.
I hope you're not represented by them because to me, it didn't
really work.
It didn't work.
You didn't need to get
smelled like
your
pot.
vulva high. Yeah.
I don't want my vag smelling like pot.
No. I brought you some good lube. So this is from,
what'd you bring me?
So there's a company called Playground. I don't know if you've heard of them. They are amazing.
You don't have your own line?
This is a line that I helped. I'm like the chief sexologist on it. And Christina Aguilera is a co-founder as well. And it's like a great brand because they came to me. Here's the thing about most sex products. Most lubricants were made by men for men. Like, hey, what has ingredients in it that like, if you can't understand the ingredients, you don't want to put it in your vagina. But Playground is like a facial for your vagina. It has like ashwagandha, black cohosh, vitamin E. Oh. And then the melts are brand new, like no one really has those yet. And those are little things you put inside of you and like suppositories, but they melt and it's hyaluronic acid, however you say it, for internally for your, it melts overnight.
So what does it do? So what do they do?
It's rebuilding the tissues.
Oh,
so one's just a lubricant that you use during sex.
By the way, hyaluronic acid is what they put in fillers for your face.
So now you put it in your vagina overnight. So you wake up in the morning, you put it in at night, it melts. It just feels, I don't know, just everything's softer and it's great for it. Like if you put it on your face, and we spend so much time externally, but as we know, during menopause, midlife, vagina's changing too.
Yeah.
Like everything's dropping.
I love this.
Yeah. So I think you're going to love it. And it just came out. But that's not the lube's been around for a bit. It's been wildly successful because it's just like finally we're thinking about women's ingredients and women's.
It's so good because I also think for many women, and when I talk to my friends who are like, I so am not interested in having sex. But, once you start, like we were talking about, you start getting into it. But if you're dry, forget it.
No. Yeah. You need to use lube every single, like that is. Like on my tombstone, like I don't care if it's like she said lube on every. Yeah, it was going to say lube on every nightstand. Like that is my dream. It is so underrated, lube. It's like I know it's because we thought women felt something. If I have to use a lube, well then I'm dry and then something's wrong with me. Like no matter what age. Because also, side note, you're on the birth control pill. You're on anything that makes you dry. You're on an antihistamine. It's going to dry you out. And with our cycles and our periods. There's certain times a month we're wetter than others. And so using lube is just a protectant. It's like sunscreen on a cloudy day. Like you don't know how wet you're going to be. And then when you're not wet enough, that's where you get tears and STIs. So like even your daughters should be using it all the time. That's why I love
that's
Playground.
interesting. I never thought about that.
Yes, and I've given it to all like I have nieces that age kids. It's like they use it now because they get it and so for men though, I think that men felt like if I have to use lube, it probably means that I didn't make her wet enough and there was something wrong with my penis.
Right.
So it was like this shameful thing to bring, like, I better get the lube, like in the cabinet, under the bed. But now if you just say, I'm going to use it every time I have sex, just like a few drops, even if you're masturbating, you're giving a blowjob, hand, whatever it is, it just helps enhance the situation. And there was a study by the Kinsey Institute that showed that when you add lube to any sexual situation, women are 80% more likely to have an orgasm.
Really?
Because it's just guaranteed slipperiness, wetness. There's more. If you think about it, the clitoris and the vulva have 12,000 nerve endings. The circumcised penis has 4,000 nerve endings. So we have all these nerve endings internally and externally. And the lube just helps it become more aroused. Like think of all those nerve endings being stimulated. And when it's slipperier, it's just wetter is better. So it's a guaranteed level of slickness that no matter what your age, even post childbirth or on the birth control pill, it'll just help. It's like a safety mechanism.
I think
so that's why it's like on my tombstone.
It's also, I mean, because for women, it's so much more mental.
Yeah.
Guys, like, once the thumb is up, they're good. They're in. As soon as you start kissing, they're in. They're good. But I mean, for women, this is such a mental game for us. And look, the wrong thing can pull you out.
Right. In a moment, in a second.
Moment.
Yeah. It's rough. That's why I talk about this. So I wrote a book 2 years ago called Smart Sex, How to Boost Your Sex IQ, Own Your Pleasure. And when I was writing the book, what it was about is like, oh, here's my 20 years of knowledge in here, and here's a chapter on anal, and here's a chapter on this and that. And then I realized, like, how do I get people to realize that sex is wellness? So I came up with sexual intelligence, or these 5 pillars of sex IQ. And I can get into them as they're applicable here. But basically, it's like everything we do in our life is going to impact our sexual health. The foods we eat, the medications we're on, our mental health. Like if we have trauma, if we have, and one of the pillars is health, obviously. You have to look at like, it is like, because the reason why I developed these is because most people are like, sex is just this random thing that I'm not really going to think about, but I'm going to close my eyes and hope for the best. I hope I'll be turned on tonight. I hope I don't lose my arousal.
Right.
But if you look at all these ways that like, self-confidence, self-knowledge is one of them, and self-acceptance is another. So do I accept my body as it is now? I know it's changed. I'm not feeling great about it. But if we can work on that, that's going to impact maybe if we're like, I don't want to have sex because I feel like I've gained some weight or I don't feel good in my body. So the Sex IQ framework helps people become their own sex expert. So it's not just this, I don't want sex and I don't know why. So I have a quiz people can take and they can figure out where they're at on their sex IQ spectrum, because maybe one of them is collaboration. Like maybe I'm communicating well with my partner and maybe I might check my medications. Nothing's impacted me. But, oh, yeah, I've been feeling really bad about my body lately. So what can I do about that? I don't have to figure out everything out. So it just kind of helps you become your own sex expert, because it's so elusive why we don't want sex. And if our brain is the largest sex organ, to your point, like if my brain isn't on board for it, and I'm not going to want sex. So what can I do to like reverse engineer, like when you are in the mood, what's going on? Well, I worked out that day, or I felt connected to my partner. I knew I had a babysitter. The house was empty.
That's a big thing too.
Right? Like it's all the things. So knowing all those factors, so it's not so mysterious. It just helps you be like, oh, I don't have to just hope that I'm going to be in the mood. And then also hacking your arousal, like, what does turn you on? So I have all these tools also on my website, which is sexwithemily.com, and on my app and all these things that people can take quizzes and be like, what was the most memorable time I had sex? You can talk to your partner about it too. Like, what was our most memorable sex? What are the 3 times that we had sex and it was great? Why? What was happening before that? Did we have a glass of wine? Did we try something new? Did we try a new lube or a toy? So just thinking about it in a way that makes it fun. That's why I'm saying talking about it and getting smart about our sex lives is just important, so we don't feel it's like a mystery
Is there like a starter pack for people? Like, what should people have in the bedside drawer?
Okay. Obviously a lube. We covered that. It can be this is a water-based lube I gave you, but there's also
Wait, let me ask you a question about the lube.
Okay.
Because, I mean, we don't use condoms, but a lot of people do. But my memory of lube and condoms is some of them break down condoms,
Yeah.
right?
Silicone isn't as great for condoms, but you can still use silicone lube with condoms. Silicone lube with toys isn't great, but you can use a...
Why?
Because silicone toys and a silicone lube, they could break each other down.
Oh.
This is not popular. I'm going to say this. It's like I've had it would take a really long time to break your toy down. Just make sure that you are washing your toy after every use.
Right.
So, but I love a silicone lube because it lasts longer. It's slipperier. And there's another, I want to send this one to you too. It's called Aria, ARIA. And it is the most luxurious, beautiful bottle that you put on your nightstand that looks like a perfume bottle. And it is just silicone. So one pump, it lasts a lot longer. So those are the two different kinds of lube you decide. I love Playground because you're actually enhancing your vulva. And I like silicone lube because it lasts a lot longer. You can also use it with condoms. So have a lube. And those are both, one's a pump, one's a flip top.
I'm making a list.
Aria. And I'm going to send you a bottle. Or I'll see you, right? We're going to get together after this. So I'm going to bring you Aria. And then have a toy. Have a little handheld toy. I love anything by Jeju, Lelo, Lelo. Or I have a toy on my site. Also go to Shop with Emily or Shop Sex with Emily. There is my favorite toys on my website. We send them all out, but it's like a silicone toy that could be shaped like an egg or like a skipping stone. You know, it doesn't have, people often think that toys are like this
huge thing. It's
going to replace their part. No, like just remember, our bodies are covered in nerve endings that feel great when stimulated. Penises like them too. So just like a little handheld vibrator that vibrates at different levels. I love anything by Jeju or Lelo. Again, they're all on my site. And have a vibrator because they're going to help rev things up. You use a little bit of lube and a vibrator on your clitoris, on your pubic mound, and you just start playing with it. I know that that's always a sure thing. Or a magic wand. Have you ever used a magic wand?
No, I've used the...
what have you used?
The womanizer.
Oh, yeah.
But not... there's another one that's like the womanizer, but it has a different name.
Yeah, I like the womanizer. I also like the... So my favorite womanizer, because now everyone knocked off the womanizer, is the WeVibe makes it. It is called the Melt. WeVibe and Womanizer got together. They like bought each other out and they like made a new toy. They had a baby. So Womanizer and WeVibe, two companies that I've worked with for 20 years,
and it's called the Melt.
It's called the Melt, and the Melt has all that internal, external suction. That's why we love the Womanizer because it's like
oral sex. Yeah.
And the Melt is just like I've been talking. It's probably been out for like 8 years now, and it's just that is the one that's the game changer. It just sucks on it. You can use it in the tub. You can use it. It's waterproof. So that one is amazing. Okay, and you can again use it on the shaft. Like I feel like men have been like left out of the sex toy experience, but even though guys don't need it, they like it. Yeah. Low setting. Yeah, they like it on their balls, on their shaft. Play around. So I would say
I have to, not to be TMI, but I need low settings because when they go too high, like to me, it's like numb.
Too much.
It's too much.
Yeah. That's why you need the settings. The ones I'm recommending are like body safe materials. Like, yes, you could buy them off Amazon or whatever, some kinds, but just be careful. Like when I first started, there was toys that were not good. Like you didn't want to put them have your vagina blow up. Like I've been very careful about all the toys I recommend because you just want to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say have a lube, have a lube, have a toy, have some wipes by your bed, like some like beautiful wipes that just to wipe everything up if it gets messy. Have some fun cards. Also this Aria lube. Oh, there's another company that's great. ARYA, another Aria. They make an app that you and your partner, it becomes like your sex coach, like a sex coach that sends you and your partner little tips every day. And it sort of makes it so it's sort of like your AI sex coach, but
I was going to ask you about that.
Friggin' amazing. So you and your partner every day, it might seem like too much, but even 5 minutes a day, you do an intake quiz, your partner does an intake quiz, they send you a little thing, they make it super easy, and they're like, oh, it sounds like you guys would be really into tying each other up. And then the next week, it sends you a box that's custom made for your sex life with your partner. Like, I'll send you a link. You and Terry can do it. And what I love about that is that or maybe once a month, you get a box and it has all of these things in it.
This sounds like a job for Dr. and Mrs. Guinea Pig. I'm just going to say that right now.
Are you guys real? Is that what? I will send you stuff. If
Dr. and Mrs. Guinea Pig.
Is that you or no?
Yes, that's us. We wrote, that was our first book we wrote together, was Dr. and Mrs. Guinea Pig, where we tried out all health, wellness, and beauty on ourselves. And we have since, like, we've done leech therapy. We've done, like, all kinds of things. Right. So we have a little project we're working on now where we're going to bring some of that back. But I think this would be perfect. My kids will fucking die. When I tell you, our TikTok right now, like my TikTok, I've been doing a lot of dances and things with Terry, and they're blowing up, and people love them. My kids are dying. They think it's the cringiest thing, but we'll try it. For sure.
Wait, I love your TikTok. I love your video. I've seen your reels. You guys are hilarious. Lean into it, and your kids will be all right.
You know what? Right? It's not their business. They don't have to watch. They have free will.
They do have free will.
We're doing nothing dangerous, although we were in...
Except... No, I'm just kidding.
Which danger? I'm like, which danger?
No, I don't think you did anything. You're like, we're doing nothing dangerous, but...
Not yet. Remember bread? It's a sad day when you reach that age when bread becomes the enemy. Well, with Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love guilt-free. Oh my gosh, I love their Hawaiian rolls. Their small drop croissants are insane. Their tortillas, so good. Their baked goods are flavorful and delicious, but have ultra low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and are high in fiber. It's fluffy, it's tasty, it's great for all your favorite snacks, and the texture is incredible. Hero's Classic Plain Bagel has 4 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and 19 grams of protein. Do you love a breakfast sandwich, a buttery dinner roll, a sizzling enchilada? Hero has you covered. So whether you're trying to get more fiber in your diet, cutting down on sugar, or adding more protein, Hero Bread is here to save the day. Plus, Hero offers monthly small batch drops of indulgent favorites like the popular 2-gram net carb Hero Croissant and new surprises coming each month this year. Right now, Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code Heather at checkout. That's Heather at HERO.co. So we were in Idaho this weekend, and we were at the lake, and I wanted to do this one little simple dance with him. And he's like, do you tell these things to me, and you think I can learn them? I'm like, it's literally 2 moves. You could do this. It's fine. And so we did it out on the lake, and I had my youngest son, Ace. I'm like, his friend was with him. I'm like, can you guys video this for me? And he was like, oh, my God, Mom, seriously. Yes.
They're at my house on the lake. They can do something. Do some labor here.
But we did it right where the clubhouse is. So we had him do it, and then we watched it. It was wrong. So we did it a bunch of times. It was so funny. And they were so embarrassed. And they left because the people at the clubhouse started clapping.
But see, I love this, but still do it anyway. And then going back to the sex thing, that your kids would be cringe when you get this box in the mail and you try it out in your next guinea pig experience.
It's all right. We have 2 apartments. We'll send it to ours, not theirs.
I will. No, I'm going to hook you. I didn't know what to, I'm like, we haven't talked about this yet, but I always like to have
I want to try it all.
I'm going to, I literally am going to bring it all to you.
I'll tell you and then I want to go back to the drawer. But I would say, like I said, you have good days, good years, bad years when you're with someone this amount of years. But we're very lucky, and we have such a good relationship and I hate to say those things out loud because, whenever I say something good like that, we will have a fight tonight. That is Murphy's Law.
You're not saying you're perfect. You're saying you're good and solid.
But also, it's fun. Like you go through these different phases of life where you rediscover each other in a different way. And so we've been able to go through that over the years, which is great. But for us, sex is so fun. I love hotel sex. Right. We're going away. We have a lot of trips this summer. And so, let's give me all the boxes.
Let's go. I'll give you all the boxes. And there's stuff that's great for travel. We have a bunch. I mean, again, my website has a bunch of the best toys for travel, the best travel sex.
I know, because I always thought, how do you travel with a vibrator? Is that, what if they open your luggage? Yeah, you can do it. There's maybe there's some places that you're not supposed to bring a vibrator. They're like Abu Dhabi.
Right. But I brought one there too. I brought one to Dubai. I brought one to India. I didn't care. I'm like, so sue me. Throw me in jail for bringing a vibrator.
You can tell them it's a curling iron.
Exactly. And they all look you can't tell what they are anyway.
No.
It could be a stress ball, but it goes in my vagina. Who knows?
All right, back to the drawer. So we got lube, we got toy.
Yeah, we got some wipes. We got some playful things. Yeah. I mean, it depends what you're into. I love... What I found that a lot of people are into just sort of some light bondage or light sensory play. I'll say that differently. Sensory play, meaning a massage candle. I love them. Have you ever used a massage candle?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so a massage candle.
We're dripping hot wax on each other?
Yeah, but it's not regular wax. It's because don't try this at home with your regular candle. Looks like a regular candle, but it's made out of warm, delicious coconut oil. So you light it for a few minutes, 10 minutes, a half hour, whatever. You blow it out, and then you pour it on your partner. And it's the most warm, luxurious massage oil.
I love that.
So fun because, again, it's Sensory play. I love leaning into these senses. You get a massage candle and then maybe you get a blindfold. So your partner's blindfolded and you brew a little warm oil. Maybe you have some ice cubes, a little bit play with the sensation. So just have stuff to play with. You can use some feathers. You can, again, I love a blindfold. There's this bondage tape. It's so fun. It's just looks like regular electric duct tape, but it actually, you use it as a blindfold. You could use it to tie your wrists up, and it's just not like you have to be like the Red Room of Pain or anything. Right. What's it called? The
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey. That's what people think it is. No, it's really about one person's leading, one person's dominant, the other person's submissive. You can let go. This is a great sex tip for couples that I think it's really hard when one person always is in charge and the other person isn't, and then you feel like sometimes it's nice just to let go. So if you one night want to be in charge, you're like, okay, Terry, I got you. You put a little blindfold on, and it could also be just like a scarf. I'm going to play with you. I mean, you just know what's coming next. You light a candle. Maybe you get there's these really cool, like little nails that you can put on. They're like little metal. They look like those, those ones for Halloween you put on over your fingers, and they're like little witch nails.
Fake nails. Yeah,
fake nails, but you scratch over your partner's body with the oil. You tickle, you tease. They can't. When you take away one
I'm exhausted
sense, like
just listening to this. Can I just tell you?
See, you're asking for tips. But this box from Ario makes it fun because they explain it all.
But also, let's be clear. We're not doing this every night.
Once a quarter is fine. Once a year, just try something different.
It's his birthday. It's yours.
Oh, please. I'm glad you clarified this. All you need is a lube and a toy, period, or condoms. That's all you really need. But when we're talking about keeping it hot, I'm getting into the weeds here, but at the end of the day, a vibrator can go a long ways. Like use it on your nipples, use it all over your body. Just talk about it. I have this thing also. It's called the Yes, No, Maybe list. It's a free download on my site. It has 100 things on it. And you do it with your partner. You fill it out. It's like kissing. Is that a yes, no, maybe? Right. Spanking. Yes, no, maybe. Using a toy. Yes, no, maybe. Dirty talk. And then you both take it separately and you come together and you're like, what are our yeses? I didn't know you wanted to be spanked. I would love to spank you. Or, the maybes are interesting too. Like, why is that a maybe? Watching porn together. So what I love about it, it gives people a jumping off point if they've never even explored. They're like, we've done missionary and fall asleep. So I just love giving people so many tools and they take what they like and leave the rest.
Oh, I think that's so good. And it's all about the communication. That is what is key.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, well, we were talking about AI, so I want to go down that road for a second.
Love it.
All right. My husband is so into AI that I'm going to kill him. I love ChatGPT. I think it's amazing. It's shocking to me how some people are not using it because it's so crazy and helpful and advancing so quickly. So it is very concerning. But I said to him, I go, if I come home and you are writing in chalk on the wall your manifesto, I'm going to be very worried. I keep getting worried. That's what's going to happen because he's so into it. But he thinks, we're all going to be replaced by robots in 4 years and we're just goldfish and all the things. I'm sure you've gone down this road. But let's talk about it in terms of sex. Because, when does it become cheating? So if it's AI, and so you had a good point before about AI being like a sex coach of sorts, which is great. You could both put in what you like. You could figure things like that out. I understand that. I think that's cool. Some people consider watching porn a form of cheating. Certainly, I think we would all agree that sexting someone outside of your relationship is cheating.
Yeah.
And definitely being physical with someone is cheating. So what about if it's cyber?
I mean, this is the conversation that couples need to be having right now. I mean, they always needed to be having these couples. Since the beginning, my partner was watching porn and I'm upset about it. It's well, have you guys talked about it before? Every couple should have these conversations and decide what constitutes cheating. Masturbation, cheating. Obviously for most couples, it would be flirting or kissing someone else. But the cyber, again, same thing. Do you have an AI bot girlfriend or boyfriend that you're chatting to every day that you are sharing all these emotional...
People have that?
They have. Yes. I mean, they have AI.
Naive.
They have girlfriends.
I'd rather have an AI butler.
I know. Same. AI assistant, AI everything. But when it comes to sex, the robots. I mean, those are already crazy stuff where... And I saw this in Amsterdam 10 years ago with a company I work with that you could be using, like I could be using a toy that looks like a penis, like a dildo, whatever.
Right.
I could put it inside of me and my partner could be in another country and they're feeling that same sensation because they're using a toy that looks like a vulva and it's like my body and their body. It's like, I mean, it feels like we're having sex together, but we're in another place. And so
that is safe sex.
That is, well, it's safe. Yeah. Especially if we're logged into the same account and doing it together. But now if we're getting to be so comfortable with robots, yeah, people are going to have AI full on robots as their girlfriend, boyfriend. I mean, that's what's happening too. I just hope that there's still going to be enough people left like us on the planet and hopefully your kids that are like, no, I actually want connection and human touch. And we're going to be advanced sexually and we're going to talk about everything that's going to come our way. Sex is not a one-time conversation. It's like we're going to have once a month where we have a sexual state of the union and we're talking about our turn-ons and what we like and what we don't like. And I know people think that takes a lot of work to talk about sex, but you talk about everything else, like where you're going to live, where you're going to vacation this summer, what foods are we going to eat, how are we going to raise the kids. But when we put sex on the back burner, we don't actually talk about our likes, our dislikes, our wants, our desires. And we think we're going to get back to it after kids or when we get older or whatever. We don't get back to it. So you have to maintain it. It's like our health. You can't just all of a sudden get in shape at 50.
Right. Exactly.
So talk about it now. Is AI cheating? What's happening with it? Like, again, if you're with a partner, we're like, hey, I found this really cool chat bot. It kind of turned me on. Let me show it to you. Or like, could we use it together? That would be a much more collaborative way than just feeling secret. So if you're doing something right now that you feel could be cheating or your partner wouldn't be down with,
it probably is.
Talk to your partner about it and see, like, can we have an open relation? Like, you want to have someone who's a growth mindset around sex.
Yeah.
If you're with somebody who is shameful about it or doesn't want to talk about it, like, and you are someone who wants to evolve sexually, look at that before you walk down the aisle, at least.
Well, isn't it so crazy? I mean, I have a girlfriend who's a, high-level divorce attorney, and we always, like, whenever I see her, she says, like, it's so crazy how what people talk about before they get married and what they don't.
Yeah. They don't talk about anything. Like, they literally.
I never thought to ask what his credit score was, or did he have debt?
It's debt. It's credit score. And I've been saying this for years. Talk about your sex life. Talk about that fantasy that you think. Yeah. Especially back when you got married or when I should have gotten married. Like, we didn't talk about it, but I didn't want to. But we didn't then. But now, like, your daughters, your kids, like, really, we think we can't talk about it because we're going to be judged. They're going to think I'm a slut. They're going to think I'm too. Like, I'm telling you,
that reminds
talk
me.
about
What I hear from some of the teenagers they talk about body counts.
Oh God, the worst.
Have you heard this?
Yes, I did.
So for people that don't understand, body counts means how many people have you slept with?
Yeah.
And I think it is so disgraceful on so many levels. And for this next generation, who I personally find so cool, so open, so fluid, all the good things that we would want out of our 1950s parents through us to them. It's so inspiring to see how they are accepting and loving and all of it. However, that one particular thing I find devastating.
Yeah, I did an entire podcast about it a few weeks ago because I was like, enough with the body count. You're already so the body count is how many people you slept with. And you want to keep that number low. You want to keep, because if you have too many, you're going to be like, you never win by having the conversation about how many people you've slept with in a new relationship. But people think they have to have it. Like it's a rite of passage. It's
bullshit.
It's bullshit. No one ever needs to know, because I'm telling you, you are going to hear that number and you're going to make a judgment. Oh, he slept with this many people. He's been out there. I'm not going to be experienced enough for him. Or you're going to judge a woman because she slept with too many. What you get to say is, you know what? I'm just going to focus on the sex we're having. I'm just going to focus on the present. Or I don't need to share with you. Or I actually don't really think that's an important thing to talk about. Like, it's also saying like body count, like you've killed all these people, you slayed all these bodies. Like, it's just so negative all around. So I would just love to end that as being something that you don't talk about.
I agree. I think it's gross.
I think it is gross too.
I think it's totally gross. And I think it's meant to shame women only.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, it just goes back to the age old, boys who have a lot of sex are studs and women are sluts.
Yeah.
And it's gross. And we were made to feel that way. I remember in college and 20s and all of that.
Yeah.
Women didn't have those conversations. You couldn't have casual sex. That
No.
wasn't a
We
thing.
couldn't in college.
No, it wasn't a thing. And if you did, there was so much shame involved that it wasn't even enjoyable anyway.
Right.
And I just don't like that. I feel like, what if you're someone that had a few limited experiences with a few different partners versus you had one partner, but you had tons of sex for years. Like, what is the difference?
The number doesn't tell you anything at all. And you do shame. It is used to shame women. And I remember trying to keep it low. Like, I remember being in my 20s being like, okay, well, I guess that one didn't count because nothing. I was like trying to. I remember consciously trying to keep it low.
There.
No penetration didn't count. It's so
count.
stupid. And then we're
So
talking
dumb.
30 years later, it's coming up again. So let's just say you don't need to reveal it. Have sex freely, openly, but have it with your pleasure in mind and not just giving it up for your partner. Because I know a lot of my early sex, well, it was fun. It's always new and fun with a new partner. It wasn't the best sex because I didn't know how to ask for it. But keep having the sex and you don't need to tell anyone about it.
You just don't need to tell anyone.
No one needs to know.
It floored me. I also remember being this was high school, so some people might not, think this is okay, but we were seniors. And I remember a friend of mine did not want to have sex with her boyfriend. They'd been together for 4 years, all through high school. She didn't want to have sex with him because she wanted it to remain an innocent relationship. And our other friend goes, there's nothing innocent about oral sex.
Right.
You guys have done a lot of nasty shit.
Just get it done.
If you don't want penetration, that's fine. But don't pretend like you're just holding hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So funny.
I know. Isn't it funny? We put all these conditions on it because we don't really even understand what it all means because having sex is the whole, we define sex as this act that's, so holy and important. But yeah, you're doing everything else or just anal, like in some religious communities.
Right. Or the Mormon thing about shaking the bed, soaking.
Soaking.
I mean, is that true?
It's true. It's true. I know. These things make me just like, oh, can we just have consensual sex that feels good to us?
Just move on.
Can we just have fun with it and be with consensual partners and not feel the shame? But the thing that keeps me going where I'm like, okay, well, I'll be doing this for another 20 years, although it might look different in different ways. It's just because don't you feel sometimes you could be talking, even though your kids or our kids or young people are all evolved and they're like with gender identity and gender fluidity and like we're much more open. When you get down to the nitty gritty of sex and actual pleasure that women are having and talking about it, it hasn't changed that much. Like the fact that we're talking about body count and we were talking about it at our age, like there's a lot that still is.
I feel like that's
different.
I guess so. But I feel like that is a step backwards that we've had.
Yeah. But
when I heard that, I was very.
I know. I was really upset about it too. But here's the other thing I might say, and this might not be as popular, but like you said, okay, we went to college about the same time where it was like, you couldn't have casual sex. You didn't sleep around. You didn't want to be judged. So then cut to the next generation, maybe your kid's generation, where they're like, we're not committing and we're just having casual sex. And a lot of the kids are just getting wasted and having sex and they're very free about it. However, in that scenario, when the kids are just wasted and hooking up, many of them, if you talk to them, the women, they're not very good. Like they get blackout drunk so they don't have to deal with the emotions or the feelings around it, but they're not
terrible.
So it's not, and I'm not, it's just, I don't think it's not that pleasurable. I'm all about pleasure. Like what was it actually good? Just because you did it and you walked away from it and you didn't have to you were empowered because you don't have to commit to them and it's casual. Is it casual but good? And I think that sex isn't that great even for the younger generation still.
Well, they still need to know. Well, you're right, because, you have to get to know your body. Right. And when you're just dating someone and you're not. But I will say this, forget about my kids. I work with a lot of young ladies in their 20s.
Okay.
Mid-20s to early 30s that I've known for years. And they're very open with me and we talk about these kinds of things. And I have to say that, one of them said to me, and I thought it made me giggle because it's so not like our generation, but it made me giggle. And she said something like, well, I have a few lovers that something. And I was like, good for you. Like I didn't know people talk like that. It's great. And I loved how adult she was about it. And it was very clear and there was no shame in it. And, and she's obviously enjoying herself.
I love it.
And it wasn't this get blackout drunk. I feel like that was more our day.
Yeah. No, I was talking about more of the college.
Yeah,
the college kids now.
But that's why you have to set them up for success, and that's
have
why,
them masturbate, talk to them about all of it.
You have to talk about everything. My kids are very open, too open. Some things I don't need to know.
They're
don't
just like
need
everything.
to know everything.
Yeah, right. This is what I've heard this from so many of my friends about their kids. Like, don't tell me. Don't want to know. I know I told you to be open.
Yeah.
But it's better than the alternative, I suppose.
No, I'm totally fine with
You're
it.
like, okay.
I'm totally fine with it.
My mom didn't talk to me about this. Let me take a beat. But no.
No, I've heard a lot in my day. Yeah. No, it's very interesting. And I'm glad that they're so comfortable with me. But yeah, sometimes, you don't need pictures. Like not literal pictures, like pictures in my brain.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's
don't
a lot.
Need to visualize.
We're still figuring it out. Sex is still complicated, but we're making good advancements, I think.
Let's Talk is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedies, celebrity interviews, news, or even motivational speakers, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue, right? And guess what? Now you can call the shots on your auto insurance too. Enter the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. The Name Your Price tool puts you in charge of your auto insurance by working just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, then they'll show you a variety of coverages that fit within your budget, giving you options. Now that's something you want to press play on all day. It's easy to start a quote, and you'll be able to choose the best option for you fast. It's just one of the many ways you can save with Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com to try the Name Your Price tool for yourself and join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Companies and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. So you've been doing this work for 20 years.
Yes.
And obviously, just like our bodies are changing, and I would assume, as you age and you go through different things, it gives you different perspective on all these things. So what's next? Well, let me tell you, I just watched last night the series finale of The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh.
Did you watch The Handmaid's Tale?
I did not get this next season. No, tell me.
It's a lot. But I read the book when it came out. So this was 100 years ago. Remember? And then they did a TV movie with Faye Dunaway. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's horrifying. But you could see it happening, which is what makes it more horrifying. So I would say the thing that concerns me with where sex has gone, and this is why the body count thing concerns me, is that I don't get political, but the state of the world seems to be throwing us into a more conservative era. And it's certainly taking women's rights and throwing them in the toilet. So I worry.
I'm worried too. Yeah. So
what do you do with
going?
that? Where are we going?
I think we don't have to share everything with everybody. You don't have to post everything. I think it's going to be, if you're talking about politically what could happen, like, I don't think you should share everything online and be more like insular about that. But I really hope where we're going is, God, this is so tough because you think about like abortions aren't legal in different states and all these things that are happening. So I think that the more we lean into women's sexuality, and if you are a parent or you are a woman, and I think the more we understand that, like here's the confusing part, that there's all these men who are like voting against maybe women's rights, let's say that. And then they're thinking like, but you're going to be a father of a child soon. So how would you feel if you couldn't get an abortion? And so now women are afraid to even be having sex in certain places in the world. So that part is going backwards. Like, how could I have free sex? How could I ask for what I want? And so I think like using condoms is really important. Everyone hates condoms, but definitely be using condoms, using protection. Another thing that is not true is that condoms make sex worse. I think that a lot of men are like, no, it feels like a rain jacket. You're not using the right condoms then, because condoms have come a long way.
I'm sure.
So use a condom, like just be safe. Like, what women have to take the brunt of all pregnancy and all responsibility when it comes to that. So, or get a vasectomy. They can be reversible. Like, I just think that so much of the pressure of sex and obviously reproduction is put on women. And I just think that the more women truly understand our power, our worth, what feels good to us, we take the time to figure out what feels good. I am telling you, solo sex, as I like to call it, people don't love the word masturbation. So solo sex, taking time to actually, like, I discovered so much about myself by actually taking the time to like, what do I actually like? Because I felt broken that when I was just doing the old penetration, it didn't feel good. I had to go on my own journey. So I think the more women are like, oh, this is like a requirement for me, like how we get a job and we're like, this is what I need. I need this kind of healthcare and this kind of pay and this kind of, with sex, you get to have that same kind of advocacy for yourself as well. When you're in the bedroom, you don't have to give in to anything that doesn't feel good to you. And I think once we've actually had that experience of like, What's a full body orgasm? What feels good to me? What do I need? What don't I need? You won't be able to have performative sex and be with partners who don't support your rights and all women's rights.
Well, having said that, we talk a lot about teaching our daughters, right? Mm-hmm. Teaching our daughters how self-pleasure, solo sex, to ask for what you want, all these things. But I think it's really important, because I have boys and girls, that we have to teach our boys about women as well. Because I think that's part of the problem too.
Absolutely. There's no blaming here, because it's literally like the patriarchal society we've lived in, or just our society just never taught anybody. So guys are just doing what they thought other guys were doing, or what they learned in porn. And so, you have to learn that, like, and I sit down with all my friends' sons and daughters. Like just the other night, I was at my friend's house. She's like, will you talk to my son? He's 14. And I just sit, and I'm also developing curriculum for them, but it's just hard to get kids. I think it has to be in person. I don't think a kid's going to log on and be like, let me learn about sex right now. But the side was, I just listen. Like, what are your questions? What do you want to know? Like, I literally pull out my vulva puppet. I'm like, do you know that when your penis goes inside, like, it's not that your penis isn't great, but it just might not feel good. They need to be warmed up. Like, I teach them the anatomy. I teach them about like how it works. Because otherwise, like, there's nothing in porn that's showing them that. And they still have, this is the other thing. The kids, even if they're the best schools, they still have like 2 days of sexual health, and they're never talking about pleasure and orgasm.
They're never talking about that. And it's funny that you just said that. I love this for you.
I love it.
I remember when my oldest daughter was like about to hit puberty, like 11, 12. Let's call it 12. There was a thing called the Birds and the Bees. Mm-hmm. And have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
They're an organization. They come into your house and they teach it. And the woman was very funny. I mean, she literally took old fashioned maxi pads with a belt, like, our grandmothers used. And
can you imagine that?
No, cannot imagine. And the girls were laughing and the whole thing. And she made it okay. And what to do if you have a period accident in the bathroom? How do you take the toilet? I mean, like practical information. And hygiene and how to clean yourself and things that, like, I don't think our parents, we had to learn, on the mean streets of, the suburbs.
Right.
But it was very interesting. But I think to take it to a next step, you're the person that needs to launch this next thing, because you're right. They didn't even teach what I was just telling you in school. They teach them nothing. Basically. And I promise you that's going to be pulled out soon. So I think what you're talking about also for kids off in, at 18 plus or younger even, but who knows when the parents
It's hard because you got to get the parents' signature. I do it with my friends' kids because the parents have all consented, of course, but it's harder. I mean, they need it young, and they need that, because to me, if I really want to help everybody in this world and make a change, and my audience has always been like 18 to 83, really, like I said, half men, women, but it's the young people that I think is so important. So how do I get that? Because I think it's, I don't know what it is yet. If it's live forums, I think it's the boys are separated from the girls, but it has to happen sooner than later.
Do you think the boys should be separated from the girls?
I think at first, and then they all come together, because right now it's still awkward for them. Like, it depends on their age too. So when they're 18, though, like, I've been doing that. I'm going to go on this tour next year. I'm going to fraternities and I'm going to sororities. Like, in the South,
love that.
I'm going to all these different places. I'm taking the podcast on a tour, and I'm going to be stopping at these, like, in all the states just to see. And I've always talked to sororities, like my nieces have been sororities, and I go do that just for fun. But now I'm actually doing it on a tour because it's so interesting to hear, like, what the guys are saying, what the girls are saying, and then the young women, the young men, and then how do we develop a curriculum around that that's accessible? How do we make it part of the talk? Because we can't leave it for the parents because we didn't know, right? So I just think it's like talking about it and knowing that there's just more to learn, and starting as young as we can. But the dream used to be getting into schools, but again, that's so hard to do. So how do you make it more elective outside if they're younger? But colleges, I can go do that easily.
Oh, I think it's so excited. Smart. Because it's funny because, look, I am a very, open, communicative parent. I have a great relationship with my kids, but I don't have those tools.
Yeah. Right.
I can't give them that.
Right. You don't know. How would you? Right. Barely. Most people don't know.
And maybe it's not for me to give anyway, because maybe you don't hear that from your mom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for a boy, I don't know, Oedipus electric complexes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, maybe there is certain information that's better from a third party.
Yeah. I think I found that in America, that is the best way to do it because most people are like, ew, mom, dad, I don't want to hear about you having sex. The only place they do this correctly, or they do it in a way that works, is in the Netherlands. Because in the Netherlands, they teach at a very big, like we're talking pre-verbal. They name the parts. They say the vulva, the vagina, the penis. Like they start teaching kids at a very, very young age, and they have sex education every year that's commensurate with the kid's age. So the body parts, consent, don't allow anyone else to touch you but yourself. But they talk about masturbation. They don't shame them. Like in our country, in our culture, most cultures, let's say you're like pre-verbal, because here's what happens. You're pre-verbal, maybe you're a little toddler and you maybe put your hand on your pants, but grandma's
very
over.
Common.
And then you're like, no, don't do that. But because you're, oh my God, the neighbors are looking, and you're like, stop, that's wrong. So the first message you get is touching my genitals are wrong and dirty and shameful. But in places like the Netherlands, they actually encourage this talk and making it normalizing sex talk, normalizing sex education. So in the schools, they do teach about menstruation and ovulation and periods, but they also teach about consent and pleasure. They talk about orgasm. So when the kids, like, it's very normal around the home to talk to your kids about it. And there's like less unwanted pregnancies. There's less rape. There's like just more pleasure. So
wow.
I would love to see a world where we could get there, but it's so hard because, again, most people I talk to are like, I don't want to hear my parents talk about it. And most parents know their kids are going to be like,
that's why it has
ew.
to be someone else. And it's
That's
you.
why I'm doing it. No, it's me.
It's you.
And I love it. I got to say, I love talking to young people about sex. So hit me up if you want me to talk to your kid, because we're organizing it.
Oh, well, you're coming over to my house. Okay,
yes.
the world's going to do that.
I love it.
I could talk to you for hours.
I know. We're just getting started.
All right.
Love you
I love
too.
it. Tell everyone how to find you, how to find the tour.
All the things.
All the things.
I think the best way to find me is Sex with Emily on all social media, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the places. My podcast is Sex with Emily. Still release 2 a week. If you go to the best way to sign up for my mailing list, sexwithemily.com, or just follow me in any of these places. You're going to hear about the tour. You're going to hear about my membership called Smart SX. You can join the membership. We bring in experts, myself too. We answer all your questions. I've got a store. Go shopping for products. Sex with Emily everywhere.
I love it. Thank you.